Welcome to Royal News Updates.
OMG. Meghan Markle's first Spotify podcast released, Open Dark Secret about Lilibet Diana DNA Test. Will you watch this podcast? Please, let us know in the comment. Thanks. Before we start, please, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon, thanks. Meghan Markle will host a podcast series on Spotify centered around women's labels, the platform has announced. Spotify announced the first podcast series in partnership with Archwell Audio, a company owned by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The series, named Archetypes, will launch this summer. According to the announcement, in the series, Meghan Markle will investigate the labels that try to hold women back. Archetypes will feature conversations with women and experts about how these typecasts shape narratives, according to Spotify. In a teaser for the show, Meghan said, "This is how we talk about women, the words that raise our girls, and how the media reflects women back to us. But where do these stereotypes come from? And how do they keep showing up and defining our lives?" And she added, "This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. I'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. And I'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place." A royal commentator said that the new Spotify podcast initially included Prince Harry too. Christine Ross, co-host of Us Weekly's Royally Us, said, "This does seem to be a story that never ends in the sense that we keep getting twists and turns and new drips of information. One thing that was interesting about the recent statement is that they've said it's Meghan's podcast. They didn't mention Prince Harry, and I think he was initially involved in the project. I do believe it's meant to spotlight strong female voices, so it makes sense if Meghan spearheads that project." In a recent Express.co.uk poll asking will you listen to Meghan Markle's new Spotify podcast, an overwhelming 98% out of the 21,035 readers that voted, responded that they will not listen to the podcast. Just 1%, 285 people, said yes, they'd listen, and 51 people said they weren't sure if they'd listen or not. In the comments left below the poll, readers mostly said they just didn't feel like the podcast interested them. Others, however, said they'd listen if some key guests were brought on, like username Luella7, who said they'd listen only if Piers Morgan is a guest. Piers Morgan, the former Good Morning Britain host who was forced to leave his role after he made derogatory remarks about Meghan's mental health, has been embroiled in a long-running feud with the Duchess for years. Ahead of his new show on Talked in February, Piers invited Meghan to be his first guest, by saying, "If Meghan Markle's watching, I'm sure she is, if you want to be my first guest, we have a bit of unfinished business. I'm available," to which the Duchess didn't publicly respond. After Meghan told Oprah in a tell-all interview last year that she had been having suicidal thoughts, Piers said he didn't believe a word she said. The comments led to a huge outcry, with Meghan herself filing one of the 54,000 complaints to broadcasting watchdog Ofcom. Ofcom cleared Piers in September last year, ruling that the host had been sharing his opinion, and was entitled to do so. The new podcast comes after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex criticized the platform over spreading misinformation regarding the COVID-19 vaccines. In late 2020, Meghan and Harry went into a multi-year deal with Spotify over the podcast series, estimated to be worth around $25 million, £18 million. The couple have previously released a holiday special podcast featuring their son Archie and celebrity guests, including Sir Elton John and James Corden. The announcement of the new podcast said, "Spotify and Archwell Audio both value responsible stewardship of the audio landscape, and as explained recently, are committed to working closely to support transparency and strong principles of trust and safety. Former Suits actress Meghan is also an executive producer on the series, along with Ben Browning, Archewell's head of content, and Rebecca Sarnans, Archewell's head of audio. The new podcast will be produced by Archewell Audio in partnership with Gimlet Media for Spotify. Dawn Ostroff, Courtney Holt, and Julie McNamara will serve as executive producers for Spotify. The teaser was produced in partnership with Little Everywhere, a podcast production house led by Jane Marie. Thanks for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments.
Subscribe to our channel.